open to you. Thank you for your time and welcome all the members and board and NIA members and our friends of NIA. Thank you very much. Sumanji, please you go forward now.
Yes.
So,
After His Excellency has spoken, he can take questions, any questions to him. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. And then to allow for manage the flow that we all understand each other, Pankaj will be muting everybody except the ambassador. And afterwards, when I see your questions appearing, the mic will be given to you to ask your question, or you could ask me to pose your question, whichever way is preferred. Okay, I hope that is clear. So, so to speak, the floor is yours, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you, Suman. I was just watching you in action and thinking of how we have all become experts in Zoom and being what to do, what not to do. And people say that this is going to be the new normal, that we all will have to learn to interact online much more than any time before. But I had a leading dancer from India, Malika Sarabhai, ask me, but what about theaters? What about artists? What about performing in front of audiences? So I told her, look, while things are going to happen much more online, I don't think it is ever going to replace human contact and direct interaction. So as I watch all of you, as I see all of you, you saw the enthusiasm with which I started speaking even before Vinod and Suman could come in the beginning. I'm truly happy and delighted to see all of you. As I said, it is wonderful to see you in good health, and I hope that is the situation with your family and relatives and friends. And I hope the day will come very soon when we can all go back to meeting regularly and interacting with each other and doing things together. But in the meantime, the news from across the world is a very mixed picture, as many of you know, and I would love to hear your own views also, since many of you are people who have seen a lot in the world and who have experienced a lot. Here in the Netherlands, the wonderful news is that the trend is clearly downwards. There has been a steady decline in the number of new infections and the number of people being hospitalized, the number of sad demises. I had a wonderful interaction with Indian health workers here, and they were very happy that the embassy reached out and spoke to them and encouraged them and supported them on the very wonderful work that they are doing. So they all reported that in virtually every hospital, what had been set up as special COVID wards have been dismantled. They are going back to being ICUs. Operations are being resumed. Patients are being treated in hospitals. So I think Netherlands is steadily on the path to normalcy. However, as we know from everything that the government has said, there is fears of a second wave. There is caution to everyone that you should continue to practice the advisories that have been advocated by the government, that you should stay safe and follow the basic principles of hygiene, of washing hands and maintaining some public distance. As everybody knows, the Indian namaste comes in very handy. I had a cup of tea with the Australian ambassador at a safe distance, and I greeted him with namaste, and he said the whole world is saying namaste now. In fact, there are some very interesting articles which have also come out on how cultural habits of some nations help them. For example, the Japanese. The Japanese have never believed in touching each other or hugging and kissing, and it is at a safe distance. You bow down to each other. So there are some cultural habits, and the Japanese numbers are truly low. In India, initially, compared to the relative size of India's population, our numbers are still low. But unfortunately, the numbers are steadily rising, and that is a cause of worry for the government. And recently, there has been a lot of movement of migrant labor, and the migrant labor has really been suffering. It's absolutely tragic. Those of you who are following the newspapers know that the lockdown hurts the poor the most, and the poorest of the poor in India are suffering a lot. And society as a whole, as well as the government is trying to do its best to support them. So because of all this, there's been a lot of disruption in society. While the numbers are still going up, and with the movement of these migrant workers, it may even spread to other states and other parts. The government is clear that it now needs to focus on the economy, and it needs to restart and rejuvenate the economy. We have today, there was a new package which was announced by our finance minister, including a lot of measures for the poor and for the migrant workers. Yesterday, there was a package which was announced for small and medium enterprises. This is the second set of stimulus measures which have been announced, and the total, as promised by our Prime Minister, going to around 10% of the GDP. The Indian economy and the Chinese economy are the two economies which are expected to do relatively well this year. According to an IMF prediction, it is 1.9% growth. Recently, UN brought out an estimate for India saying 1.2% growth, while everybody else will be in negative growth. But it is still too early to say anything conclusive about this. That there are different studies and different reports. The Indian government's own assessments are different. I was just seeing the State Bank of India has come out with a study. HSBC has come out with a study. So we need to wait and watch. Nobody has an idea about the full impact on the economy as of now. All I can say is that India is trying its best to get back on steam. We would also like to see if there is a silver lining in the otherwise dark environment, which is would people try and keep supply chains within their own countries more? Will there be a shift of supply chains out of China, and can India attract more investments? A number of state governments as well as central governments are also announcing several reform measures to see if this crisis becomes an opportunity to attract investments into India. But otherwise, the focus very clearly is on containment of the health situation in India and revival of the economy. We need to wait and watch. Let me just say that as friends, as some of the closest friends of India, we value your continued support and guidance in the building of India-Netherlands relations. We have a number of our activities here locally has had to be called off because of the lockdown which was imposed. We had planned to have the Bollywood on a Boat initiative to promote tourism to India during King's Day. That didn't happen. King's Day celebrations went online. We had reserved Dam Square for our next Yoga Day event for June 21st. That also we will probably have to take it online now, and we are thinking and debating how best to do it. Please give us your ideas. Please collaborate with us and tell us how we can make it as big a success as possible. And then we have our Independence Day coming up on August 15th. I think from August till September, after August, at that time, around 100 people would be permitted to gather together. So we are still discussing and debating how we should do the Independence Day celebration, whether there should be a small gathering or whether it should be an online event. Decisions are to be taken on that. We welcome your inputs, but I know you have also traditionally organized a big event on the evening of August 15th every year. I'd be very glad to know what your thoughts are and how would you be going ahead with that event, or would you plan to modify it and amend it some way. Let me conclude these words and before I open up for questions, just assure you that the embassy is there for each one of you to help you in whatever way we can. Throughout the crisis period, we have been working 24/7. We have been working online, even though the presence in the embassy itself was very skeletal. We have been able to support and help a large number of stranded Indians. Some we have managed to send back to India. Some we are still working on sending back to India. We have been trying to continue to remain in touch and interact with various sections of the Indian community here, especially the students who are very sensitive and who feel upset that now their classes have all gone online. and it is expensive to live in Netherlands, but they are unable to return to India. So we are reaching out to them. We are staying in touch with them. We are supporting the Indian community in whatever way we can. And we, as once again, as I said, as India's best friends here in the Netherlands, we would love to support anything that you are doing, and we would love to be in touch with you and assist you in whatever way we can in activities that you conduct. I would like to compliment Vinod for this initiative of organizing this Zoom interaction or WebEx interaction, Zoom interaction. Let me just say, please carry these activities forward to whatever extent you can. Perhaps the current situation is an opportunity for reviving the NIA in its original avatar as an intellectual body, as a think tank, as a place where people look at India's history, India's culture, at the contacts which have tied us together over centuries. Please have discussions, please have webinars, please have online meetings, and let us try and use this online means to reach out to as wide an audience as possible in English and in Dutch here in the Netherlands, but also across the world. We've just have currently going on a wonderful dance festival, India Dance Festival of Corso Theatre, which because of the circumstances had to be shifted online. But every day there are programs, please watch them. Some of the Indian organizations, cultural organizations here are doing a little festival of their own, whereby they are doing online programming. Gandhi Center has continued to have yoga classes, Hindi classes online. We are trying to do programs online. So this is truly the medium of the present and the future. I would urge NIA to also adopt it and bring it close to its heart and to use it in whatever manner possible to spread the message of India-Netherlands friendship. Thank you very much. Namaste to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your beautiful advice to us for NIA go to organize in future Independence Day anyhow. We're busy with our board and our member to discuss about which manner and how we do that. We come back to that. And Sumanji, please you go for a question answer with the ambassador.
Yes, there's one question that came in from Yolanda, who says that many Indian expats have returned to India. And does the ambassador have any signal for the future, or are there reductions because of less projects and working from home? Will people be returning back to this country, Indian expats?
Thanks for the question, Yolanda. Lovely to see you. I would say it is too early to say anything.
Yeah.
And the sad reality is nobody has gone back because the airports have been closed. Everybody is here.
Yeah.
And, in fact, the latest we have is there was a lot of panic and everybody wanted to rush home. But as things stabilize here in the Netherlands, there is, out of the initial numbers who had registered with us, a lot of people are dropping out and saying we are happy here in the Netherlands, we don't want to go back. So I think in terms of physical presence, in terms of the health conditions, initially Netherlands were high, India was low, now India the numbers are high, Netherlands is slowing down. So all this affects people's minds. At any rate, there is no mass exodus back. Even the students who have genuine difficulties are in two minds whether they should stay or they should go back. But they, of course, have very valid questions as to if they want to continue their studies. In all probability, the next academic year is going to begin online, and whether it makes sense for them to stay here or go back. And of course, many of them are graduating. And after graduating, would they have jobs here? There have been demands that normally students are given a search year to look around. They are permitted to stay in the Netherlands to look for jobs, whether that can be extended so that under the present circumstances, finding jobs is not going to be easy. So would they be able to spend a little more time? Would the government give them a little more time to search for this? We have, of course, raised it with various Dutch authorities, and the students are also reaching out directly to them. I hope there will be a favorable decision from the Dutch government in this regard.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if we take our, I had an interaction with all our leading IT companies, representatives of IT companies, and then I had a specific separate interaction with HCL, and another interaction is planned with Tech Mahindra, which I will do shortly. So feedback we get from the IT agencies is there is going to be a lull in the short term. Many projects which were on the anvil may get postponed. They may have problems in payments. They may have delays that they encounter. And a lot of, because I want to say one of the biggest customers, KLM, is in terrible shape right now. So, wherever, if companies are looking to cut losses, and wherever they can cut losses, wherever they can ask the IT companies to pull back their people, they are being asked to pull back the people. But overall, the IT companies are confident that what this crisis is going to bring is, number one, change in how companies function, and any change and transformation will create opportunities for them. Two, cost cutting. Once again, people will relook at their processes to see how they can cut costs. Three, increased digitization. More and more things, like we are doing this interaction online, more and more things are going to be digital. So that again creates opportunities for IT companies. And lastly, work from home environment, which also many of us are doing right now. So all these will create opportunities, and a company like TCS in India has already publicly announced that they have shifted most of their employees to their homes, and they don't see them all coming back. They will try and limit the number of people who come back to a work from office situation. And they want to be in a position where they can save costs and improve employee efficiency by working from home. And this is been geared for that. So HCL also reports the same to us. So in conclusion, let me say, no temporary slowdown. Indeed, you have, I think, some business leaders here in this group, and they will also report it. This year is going to be bad. Hopefully 21 will pick up. Hopefully flights will resume. Tourism will pick up. So 2020 is going to be bad, but hopefully 2021 will be much better. The IT sector is doing well. Students will predominantly stay here, but they are hoping for jobs, and that will depend upon how quickly Dutch economy revives. A big company like Steel has problems of its own. So all the manufacturing companies have been faced with difficulties. But he said, I have far more problems in India than in the Netherlands. So Netherlands have been able to keep operations running. So it's while it's a mixed picture, it is not a bleak picture by any means. We have to wait and watch how quickly Netherlands recovers, and we hope it will recover very fast. And equally, we hope and pray that India will also be able to recover very fast.
So I think it's, as you say, it's difficult. We have to wait till this dust settles down, but you can already see trends also in this country of people working from home, which looks like it's going to be a permanent feature, at least to some degree. So thank you for that. There's another question coming in. Does that answer your question, Yolanda?
Yes, it does. Yes. I want to add one thing. There were some expats on short-term visa, and I think the government has accommodated them to extend their visa. I'm sure you were, Mr. Ambassador, on that. There were some cases, people sitting on the bench, but they could stay here and still make, stay in the Netherlands on more long-term visa. I think IND has worked on that. So, but thank you for your elaborate answer to my question. Thank you.
Let me just add, Yolanda, and all of you would be happy. The Dutch government has been simply outstanding in the support it has extended during the crisis. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador NIA, you would be happy to know, has been wonderful. They've been calling us up and saying, is there any help you need? And anytime, Saturdays, Sundays, anytime you can contact us and we are there for you. They have been intervening with other departments where required. And a large number of people had worries either for themselves or for their relatives who had come and whose visas were expiring. They're all getting extensions from IND without difficulty. So
Fantastic.
we're grateful to the Dutch government for the support extended by them.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
You
Thank you.
make me feel happy.
Thank you.
So there's one more question that came in from Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. Would you like to say something about that yourself? Would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that opportunity. Mr. Ambassador, my name is Sanjeev. We have met in various occasions. I had a kind of a personal as well as a general question. You mentioned a lot about digitization happening in companies like TCS, Mahindra, and the other IT companies are getting into making everything digitized and online. So my question relates to the OCI applications that we do. Why can't we digitize it among other application processes? Because and that is the general question. And my personally, how I am affected is that my daughter's OCI application has been pending for want of physical application of the forms, and I don't know when the VFS NL offices will open, so that I can continue with that. So yeah, two parts. One, why don't we digitize our working over here, the embassy matters to the extent possible? And the second is that when will the VFS NL offices open, so that if we are still to continue in the old process, we can resume it. Thank you.
Well, I can share with you the good news, first of all, that the VFS office is opening now on May 20th. So VFS office will be up and running soon. You will be able to go back there following all the precautions and attend to your service. Secondly, if you have a specific issue, if you send in an email to us, we are happy to look at it and see if we can resolve it even easier or in a simpler manner to reduce the difficulty that you face. And thirdly, on the question of digitization, again, please do put it in an email to us and we'll be happy to look at it. The embassy's role is more of a post office function. We collect the applications, but the applications are sent to Delhi. And the actual processing happens in Delhi. And Delhi sort of prepares the OCI cards and sends it to us to hand it back. And then we put the visa onto the passports here. So I think the Indian government is all for maximum digitization. This is the first time I am hearing a proposal like this, and I will certainly have my colleagues who handle the matter look into whether we can speed up the digitization of OCI applications. I think it'll have to wait a little till the crisis is over so that people can focus on it. But in the meantime, if there's anything we can do to help you, we'll be very happy.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. It's more to do with simplifying the process because everything is online. Currently, what we are doing is we are filling up the entire application, documents, photographs, whatever, online. And when it is already available in online mode, why do we have to submit it in a physical form? So, yeah. So that was the general idea about it. I have written to the embassy, and yeah, no, never mind. I'll go to the VFS office and submit it.
VFS is opening on May 20th. But if you once again put your concern in an email to me, I'd be happy to look at it, and I'll have the concerned officer take a look at it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I'm not seeing any questions coming in. Does anybody have anything?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon. This is Jugnu Chalani, and I'm into the travel industry and also the trading. And the trading, which I was doing all the time from China and also from India. But lately I stopped with India, but now I want to start again. And there was a few concepts which was in my mind. So I sent the email 3 times requesting that the details what I needed, and I have not received any reply yet. And it has been going on for more than 2 months. So I hope they can reply me soon on that. That was the one question.
No,
And
explain to me once again, what is it that you wanted?
okay, I wanted to import something from India, from Kerala,
Okay.
and I sent all the details to some gentleman, I think Mr. Kaushik, and I sent 3 times the email, but I haven't received any reply on that. And so I'm stuck on that. I want to get more into the business from India. That's my, and that's what I'm looking for the answer on that.
Yeah, but I do not know the details of what you mentioned, and I have not seen this email. So please send it to me and let me look at it. But once again, please also understand that in India, almost everything is still shut down, and people
No,
are
I
just
understand that. So that was the reason.
emergency response.
And
So
okay.
if there is an opportunity to import something, we are of course happy to help.
Okay, and second question is about the OCI card. For example, like myself, I got an OCI card about 15, 20 years back. Now the stamp was on an old passport. Do I need to get the stamp on the new passport? That was one.
You do. As per
And
the new rules, you do.
So we have to get it done on the new passport.
Correct.
Okay, that was because one child who was 10 years old when he got an OCI card, and now he is 22. He was going, so he asked me because I'm into travel industry.
No, all
I
the
said, carry
details
the
are
old
on
passport and the new passport.
all the details are on our website. Please tell them to go and look at it. But the government has recently brought out instructions saying that whenever a passport changes, it should be endorsed onto the new passport.
Okay, and when the airports are opening in India, any idea?
No idea. So we'll have to just wait and watch. As of now, the airport is open only for special flights, and any resumption of international flights will probably happen only after domestic flights begin. There's no point people landing up in Delhi and not being able to go anywhere else. So it is all connected. As you see right now, the railways have started operating limited number of services. Special flights with the permission of the government are happening. A lot of the Europeans who were there have managed to come out. We are sending flights into India, but regular commencement of regular flights, I have no idea. We have to wait and watch.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Thanks.
No chance to go to Goa on holidays.
Not yet.
Holiday.
All the Dutch are decided to come into holiday within the country.
Yeah, I'm waiting back.
Unless you take the boat.
Let me give an open invitation that for all these August NIA members, with all the precautions, you're always welcome to India House Vasana for a holiday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And sir, we are busy for the meeting with our board, and we come back to you as soon as possible with 15th of August. How we want to do that and which way we want to do that, we'll let you know and we discuss with you. And we do maybe something together, maybe something to do separately. We make plan for that. We have to do something anyhow because it's a very special day for Indian reason. We have to do celebrate. We're doing for last so many years, and maybe we do the smaller matter, not a larger. Maybe the 100 people, whatever government give to permission to us, we do organize that evening anyhow. But we come back to you for that.
Sure, certainly we'll be happy
Anyone has
to.
questions for us, Mr. Ambassador, Madam Mariam Mort, and Mr. Eric Nia, Mr. Madan, Dr. Ram, Dr. Dev Chadha, please. Manu Sharma ji, any question you have? Mr. Ambassador here.
I
We're
think
very
Manu,
lucky you give time to us.
I think NIA members are more used to making speeches rather than asking questions.
I think most of the questions were regarding the traveling to India, but since it's still in the lockdown phase, so I guess we just have to wait and see how and when things will get normal.
Yeah, that's the best way.
So we respect the system, and we really respect that how everybody is taking good care of their countries. I mean, all the leaders are doing absolutely outstanding work here, Mr. PM Rutte, and in India, Modi ji. So we are really very happy and proud to be Dutch as well as Indian, being an Indian. So we are really feeling very blessed. And regarding to Yoga Day, I was thinking maybe if we want to do something very special on Yoga Day, So maybe, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
We hear you.
so I was thinking, is it like not a very good idea? Maybe it's just a suggestion that if we introduce also one of those health kada on the yoga day to the Dutch
The health
society.
kada?
To the Dutch society.
What is a health kada?
Health kada, like you drink that for immunity, to increase your immunity. If we introduce that on the day of yoga day, sir.
Okay, you are basically saying Ayurveda.
Ji,
That
sir.
you talk about Ayurveda as one of the means of boosting immunity, certainly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much once again. Lovely seeing all of you.
And I
Is that
want
all?
to thank.
Anything else?
Yoga day can be done. Soon.
Meeting today and what message we get from the ambassador. The knowledge we have to tell the people if they want to fly to India and if they want a more longer visa, then people know what we get the knowledge from Mr. Ambassador. Please. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador.